Hello everybody. I don't know if I'm really good at doing this because this is the first video I've ever done. But this is the walk I take from my house down to the main drag in Minneapolis, which is called Lake Street. And I'm sorry for it being shaky. What we're looking at right across the street is the Settlers and Pioneers Cemetery. This is used to be the edge of Minneapolis. The very edge where they brought the dead. It's ginormous. And there's a deer that lives inside. I wish she'd come over to say hello, but they do keep a deer inside there. They have their reasons, and we don't know why. But she comes up to the fence. She's very friendly. She's just not there right now. So, Minneapolis is one of the highest taxed... Oh, there's the crematorium in the background. Minneapolis is one of the highest tax areas besides New York and Los Angeles and Chicago in the world, or in the United States. These are our sidewalks. It hasn't snowed for a few days, yet they're not cleaned up. Every year they ask for more money. On the other side of the street, you see that big, nasty pile of stuff. You can no longer, for a 2-block stretch on Lake Street, cross the street without going all the way out of your way because they haven't come around and cleaned it up. Those apartment buildings right there, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, maybe 6. And we see them occupied by people who don't live in the neighborhood. They come from other neighborhoods and get a brand new fancy apartment that we can't afford. And every year they raise our taxes. They need more money. So I'm about 2 blocks from my house, and I'm walking by an apartment building that, even if I got excellence on my reviews for the next 5 years, I could never afford to live at. Nor could any working person. Here's the little mall they gutted. We used to have quite a little community center. People would come up here. We had a Burger King and a Pizza Hut. You know, not good food, but at least familiar food. Yeah, this is what we have to walk over to get across the intersection. This is the road that the kids from South High School, which is right over there. That's where Prince went to school, by the way, South High. And this is the sidewalk they have to deal with to get to and from school in the wintertime. But we need more money for snow removal. Well, we keep giving them more money and they keep leaving it on the sidewalk, so I'd like to know what they're doing with it. There's Aldi's. Aldi's is alright. You can't get sour cream there. There's certain things you can't get. But that's the closest grocery store now in my neighborhood. Of course, we have all the usual suspects of the chain stores. Dollar General, Little Caesars, and of course, Wells Fargo. This right here is the YWCA, built in 2000 to replace the community center that used to be here, open to the public. Now the YWCA, and they have an interesting logo. I'm just going to show it to you and let you draw your own conclusions from it. But whoa, look at that symbolism. I'll just leave it at that. Now in order to take your kids here, you have to pay money. They have a daycare. Now you have to pay money. This used to be a community where you could drop off your child and go to a doctor's appointment where you didn't have to worry about them. And somebody from the neighborhood would take care of them for you because you'd take care of their kids. That's what's fallen off in this society. Right across the street here is Subway, J-Clips, little barber shop. And as in every urban area, town, city, and village in this country, we have a liquor store on the corner. High Lake Liquors, always busy, always open, feeding the misery of this neighborhood. This building right here, this is a Hennepin County Service Center. Because there's so many poor people they're creating with their policies that we have to build a service center in my neighborhood now to service the poor people they've created. There it is. That's probably where our money is going to. And look at this, again, right behind it is an apartment building that no one in this neighborhood can afford. They're putting them in our neighborhoods so the rich people can have a second place besides their suburban homes, so they can come on that light rail right out of downtown and just park their butts overnight at this apartment building in my neighborhood. It is too expensive for anybody who lives in this neighborhood to have an apartment there. That's the cognitive dissonance creating homelessness, people. See? South Side. That building went up in about 4 months. That's how fast they can build things for rich people. There's the light rail train. It goes from downtown Minneapolis, the Twin Stadium, and it goes to the Mall of America and turns around. It doesn't really even turn around. It just, the driver gets off, gets on the other end of the train and drives it out the opposite direction. So there's the Minneapolis light rail. So I'm just hoping that the right people see this. This is what we're seeing in our neighborhoods. The best land, best spots are being taken and given to the rich by development. We should have had an apartment building there, right there, to house the homeless people, serviced by this building right here. Wouldn't that make sense? Of course, this world doesn't make any sense right now. But there are some of us that are going to force it to take a good look in the mirror at itself and figure this out, because we've had it. And that's the lovely light rail. I take that to work every morning or afternoon if I'm working afternoons, and I come back at night on it. 3 stops away to my left is the US Bank Stadium, $1.1 billion. And I'll upload a video next time I go to work. I'm off today, but you're gonna see what I see, and you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna see a train full of homeless people trying to sleep as we go by a $1.1 billion stadium. And it's sick. But yep, this is my little neighborhood, South Minneapolis. I just wanted to give y'all a little tour of, you're walking and you're ready to go to the bus. And we've paid for all these benches to be installed. We wanted some seating. So what did they choose? Metal. Does that make any sense in Minnesota where it's cold 6 months of the year to put out metal benches? Shouldn't they have been high density plastic? I think so. Well, in any event, they should at least be shoveled out so that people who need to sit can sit. And as you can see, there's the bus stop with everybody, all the working people standing, because the benches look like this. Now, I don't know where all this extra money every year is going, but apparently they can't afford shovels or people to operate them. Now we'll walk down to this little area over here, the Lake Street Midtown Station. This is supposed to be a little commons area that was given. This whole building was taken over by the city. This whole area, we used to have a nice farmer's market here where we could come and get fresh fruit and vegetables. Now they have it way up beyond in the parking lot so it can't be seen from the street, because you won't want anybody to know there's fresh vegetables right here. But it used to be right here. Instead, they gave us this little community area that we can sit in. You know, you meet up with one of your neighbors after work, you want to sit down and have a conversation. Well, not so much, huh? Not so much. That's a bench. These are all benches. Yet no one can be bothered to come and shovel them out. Yet every year they need more money. Every year. Well, we need more money for snow removal. We had a lot of snow. Well, you know what? Next year, you don't get it. Here's the other thing. We have garbage cans all over here. You didn't see a whole lot of trash in my neighborhood, because my neighborhood, we don't do that. We pick it up and put it in the trash until we can't anymore. Do you see? This might be in an urban area in downtown, but we don't pollute where we live. Not the people in my neighborhood where I've lived for 20 years. See, we use the garbage cans. But we do require that they be empty so we continue to use them. And they're not. I can guarantee you, if I come down here tomorrow morning, because it's Friday afternoon, these things will be here like this all weekend. All weekend. And people will continue to try and put their trash in there, so you'll have a mound of trash all around it. And then the city will come by on Monday and say, see, these people don't care about their neighborhoods. Yes, we do. It's you that doesn't care about our neighborhoods. Now, way over here we have a bus bench that is somewhat wiped off. only because the people did it themselves with their mittens. I saw it being done the other night. So this is the only bench anybody can sit at. And there we go. They're all standing over there instead, because it's just easier. This right here is the overpass for Highway 55. And the light rail runs parallel to it. I don't know if any of you have heard of the poem, The Song of Hiawatha, but Wadsworth wrote it. I'm on 30, technically Lake Street is 30th Street. 50th Street is Minnehaha Falls, so it's about 20 blocks to my south. Minnehaha Falls, Song of Hiawatha, the Ballad of Nokomis, all happened down there. It was all thought of and written down there. So I'm going to cut this off for right now, but I'm going to be putting up more videos about these high tax. You want the money for the stuff, but you don't want it. You don't want to be responsible for what you're supposed to do with the money. So what I would like to see is a few people out here with shovels. What would it hurt you to go to the homeless shelter and say, hey, we have an opportunity for some of you to work today. We're going to pay you $20 an hour because it's going to be crappy work and it's going to be hard. But if you'd like to earn a couple $100s today towards the damage deposit on your apartment that you can't afford, maybe we could get 10 guys down here to clean this out and then send them down the street 2 blocks down to the next shelter and the next shelter. But I don't know. It's probably just too much like right. I'll let you guys go for now. The snow will melt here. And then everybody kind of forgets in the summertime all the travails of the winter. And then they'll come around in the fall and say, look at all that snow we had. Well, we just couldn't keep up with the removal. So we're going to need more money. Minnesota and the world, it's time to start saying no. Have a great day, my friends.